I'm really excited about this conversation. I'm going to invite Bill Nye to join me on stage. Bill is, please give a round of applause for Bill. Good to see you, Bill. Welcome.
Good to be seen.
All right. Well, Bill, you certainly were known as Bill Nye the Science Guy.
What?
Little known fact. But you've been busy with the Planetary Society. You're
Yes.
CEO. Tell us a little bit about the Planetary Society, and then I have a couple questions.
Well, I probably don't have much to say. I mean, how many people here are not members?
I joined. I don't know.
Anyway, well, you should join, Doug. So the Planetary Society is the world's largest independent space organization. We're based in Pasadena. It was started by Carl Sagan in 1980. And Lou Friedman, who's still around, he's an orbital mechanics guy, and Bruce Murray, who was the head of the Jet Propulsion Lab during that heyday of the Voyager mission and the Viking missions. And we advocate for the scientific exploration of space. So everybody, I am hopeful, I cannot guarantee this, that I will be alive when evidence of life is found on another world. If it turns out these leopard spots in the rocks on Mars, I don't know if you heard about this, if it turns out they really are fossil bacteria, it will change the world. Everyone will think differently about what it means to be a living thing. And as the lessons to be learned from planetary science are very valuable today. Mars used to have an ocean and an atmosphere. What happened, man? Could it happen here? And then you can make a pretty strong argument that climate change in the modern era, this is, say, not Ben Franklin speculating about coal burning or astronomers in the 1920s, cosmologists in the 1920s, you can argue that climate change the last few decades was discovered on Venus. James Hansen, looking at Venus, got to thinking about the role of carbon dioxide. And Venus is unlivable. Not that anybody would want to live there. And you guys, I applied 4 times to be an astronaut. All for it, let's go, all right? But nobody's going to live on Mars any more than anybody lives in Antarctica. I mean, you go there, you set up a base, you explore, you think deep thoughts, you discover the role of chlorinated fluorocarbons in destroying ozone. Yes, thumbs up. But building a space, a dome, this utopian vision on Mars, it's just, I don't know if you know this expression. Are you high? So anyway, you guys, with that said, there's 3 things I want, and we'll get back to work.
Well, I just want to point. I had the good fortune to go to Carl Sagan's home in Ithaca in January 1994 on Tyler Road. Had lunch with him. We had some lovely soup, and he asked me some tough questions, but I will never forget. He said the key to figuring out the climate crisis and understanding it was planetology.
Comparative planetology.
Yeah.
Very Carl Sagan-esque expression. But I just say, I want to explore the worlds, yes. I want to look for life elsewhere. And a key and important thing, do not want the Earth to get hit with an asteroid. Apparently you only get one of those, really. And the expression is, it's very low probability event, but very high consequence.
Yeah.
And so, I just say, when I was in elementary school, nobody knew what happened to the ancient dinosaurs. And speaking of Sagan, if you get to the original Cosmos episode 4, he says, well, the dinosaurs disappeared, we don't know why. Anyway, moving on. So it was in my lifetime, 1980, 83, when people realized it was an impact probably off the coast of what is now Mexico. Yeah. So it's join the planet, check us out, planetary.org. And I was just in Washington, D.C., for the Senate hearing with the guy who's almost certainly going to be the next NASA administrator. We need an administrator. Yeah. We need some direction, people. Yes, back to you. Thank you, Matt.
Well, sir, speaking of Mars, coming back to and the importance of studying planetology and the climate crisis, coming back to this planet, you've been active in this world, this space of understanding the climate crisis and helping educate people about what we can do. But we keep pressing the snooze button. What is it that you think will help make people wake up? And it seems like we've been asking this question for a while, but I'm curious.
Well, it's just the trouble, everybody knows the trouble with climate change is it's happening in slow motion, but the motion's getting faster and faster. But I am very optimistic about Los Angeles, man. I was watching, like all of you, I was watching the Chargers-Eagles game last night. Is anybody from Philadelphia? Sorry, let me
we have at least one Eagles fan on the LACI.
Well, see, I grew up saying Eagles, but I come to find out the word apparently is pronounced Eagles, if you're from there. And the defender, say what you will about U.S. football, whatever, but the Eagles defender was waving his arms, trying to get the crowd yelling, defense, defense, because there are enough Philadelphia fans in the LA stadium to make it worth his while. I went to the Rams-Seahawks game a few weeks ago saying, where are all these people from Seattle? What's going on? And so Los Angeles is populated by people from somewhere else. Yeah. And this, I know there are many natives, yes, way to go. But no, really, but this is an opportunity. We can be a model for the world, bringing people together in the cariest culture of car culture, culture-tivity ever created in car culture. And we can change. We can change. We can electrify transportation, and we can use the World Cup and the Olympics to, look, we can make changes. And to whine and complain, as we all do, Brad Sherman is my member of Congress. Sent a survey, do you want light rail on the surface of the 405? Do you want partly? What you want is the most expensive, coolest rail system. You want a huge freaking tunnel through the mountain so that people get around quickly. Yeah. Do not make no small plans. I know you all are huge Earl Weaver fans. He was the manager of the Baltimore Orioles.
Of course.
He famously said, if you play to win by 1 run in baseball, you will lose by 1 run. If we take half measures to address climate change, we will not address climate change. If I were king of the forest. So along this line, you guys, let us build cool infrastructure that's high quality as fast as we can for 2028 so that we can be a model for the world.
Hear, hear. Let's, for bold action.
But Matt, it takes at least 2 things. It takes all this cool technology. And look, you guys, I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm all for it. Any cool thing we can do. A new magnet, cool. Sodium batteries, yeah. But it's also got to change our behavior. I mean, we all love driving, but we got to change.
Speaking of yesterday, we had a few conversations here in this room, including with Olympic athletes who really were extolling the virtues of transit. And one of the questions, Sam Mattis is a field and track athlete. He was asked, I think he's discus, what do you want people to walk away from when they leave in 2028? He's like, wow, it was so easy to get on the train and how it was so cool.
Yeah.
But how do we get people to think, because we need, of course, we need our elected officials, our corporate leaders, our organizational leaders, but how do we get people to make commitments to action? Like, how do we get people to do something, however little, however big? How do we get people to realize they can make a difference and be part of that, whether it's being, writing to Brad Sherman saying, hey, think big, or something else that they can do? How do we motivate people?
Okay, I want to disabuse us of the notion that if you just recycle your compostable fork, everything's going to be fine. You guys, we need big ideas. And with that said, in my opinion, which I have to point out continually, my opinion is correct. It's just weird. No, I meet people who just don't, wow, I didn't know. Yeah, it's weird. The longest journey begins with but a single step. So I believe that if we can make these incremental changes in our transportation infrastructure here in Los Angeles, we can change the world. And when people realize you can get to the stadium more easily on the train than you can otherwise, some disclosure, went to the football game. The game goes on, the modern game goes on 3 hours with all the jumping around, 4 hours. Took almost that long to get out of there because if you've ever been to the parking lot at Dodger Stadium,
oh, Lord.
I mean, just settle in, you know.
2 hours. On
Yeah. I used to play catch with a woman. While we were waiting for the parking lot to clear out. But all this aside, I think if we can make every incremental change we can make will engage people.
Yeah.
But you guys preaching, as you know, has not been effective. It takes leadership. Very easy to say, and so on and so on. But I will tell the administration and the Wall Street Journal editorial page over and over, electric car is just a higher quality car. It's just more comfortable, it's quieter, it's cheaper to operate, it's a lot faster, and it's more fun. So this thing that they, if I can use that term, are doing to abandon electric vehicles is just, I don't know if you know this expression, dumbass. We just, California can be the leader in this. And yes, we can start with partial electric vehicles, okay, hybrid, yes. What if I have to drive 500 miles? Really? Then rent a car, man. No, seriously. I'm not joking you. It's a real thing, or a so-called true fact, that you don't drive that far every day. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were backstage geeking out about all the models of EVs we've driven or alike, and the different charging standards. But really, when you think about why do we have so many EVs on the road and so many more coming in models, is because of California's policy leadership.
Exactly.
And we had the executive officer, Steve Cliff of CARB, here yesterday, and yesterday, Edward Norton was talking about a company he's working with called Stacks, that because of CARB's, one of their rules, they've got a company that's grown and blossoming to solve air pollution at the ports. And that's why we have all the great, electric vehicles as the ZEV mandate at the state level. Of course, there are those in Washington trying to take that power away.
Well, and they're not going to be there forever. Yeah. I mean, the pendulum will swing, I think, pretty hard, if that's an adverb. But along this line, there's leadership. The famous example is smoking. When I was, excuse me, maybe it's from smoking. When I was growing up, all the grown-ups smoked. Everybody smoked, all the freaking time. Sure. And there was this running in circles, screaming thing in New York City. I didn't live in New York City, but I remember this. Well, restaurants are going to lose business because people won't sit around smoking after they eat and buy dessert or something. But it turns out revenue went up. And now when you see somebody smoking, you go, what's going on, man? What are you doing smoking? And I know people who smoke enjoy it, okay? But this was government policy that led to leadership and change. Yeah. So I just say all the time, we get into this doom scrolling, everybody's, we can't, everything's not working. You have to be optimistic. If you're not optimistic, you're not going to get anything done. It doesn't mean you're delusional and you pretend things aren't a problem. We're going to do this. It's going to suck in some ways, but we're going to do this. So let's go. Let's get her done. Back to you.
An opposable thumb and optimism. That's what we need.
Well,
it's what we have.
We need optimism with this. Look, you guys, I don't know any better, okay? I'm of a certain age. Both of my parents were veterans of World War II. My dad was, we had Pearl Harbor Day. My dad was on Wake Island, the middle of Pacific Ocean nowhere. He spent almost 44 months, almost 4 years as a prisoner of war. Wow. It sounds like fun. It sucked. And then my mom was recruited by the Navy. She was one of the code girls, one of the code breakers. What did you do during the war, Mom? Can't talk about it. She never talked about it. But these two people got involved in this thing. We are going to win this war. Everybody, we are going to work together and we are going to do this. And so let's develop that spirit again.
Yeah.
Let's have Los Angeles be the leader. It'll be cool. I'd love to take the train to the stadium, yes, to the discus event. Those things are heavy, I don't know if you've ever tried it. And so this stadium, to me, is visionary. It's beautiful, and it's LEED certified and all these wonderful things. So we can do this. We will make our buildings, if I may, less inefficient, and we'll electrify transportation, and we will slowly change habits. We can do this. Let's go.
Well, please join me in thanking Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Woo. That's it? That's it? Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Bill.
Wow, that's it. Let's go.
They're keeping us on a tight leash.
Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. Congress shall promote the progress of science.
Hear, hear.
In the Constitution.